Hello, my friends. You're listening to the Scenes on Toast Top 10s with Friends podcast, the podcast where we determine definitive top 10 lists for everything, and I mean everything. We're only a couple of podcasts in, so we've got many more topics to cover. I'm Jack from Scenes on Toast, your host for this podcast, and I am delighted to be joined by my very, very good friend Andrew Burns. Burns, how's it going? How do you feel at this like exact moment in time, like this very
Right
moment
now,
of your being?
I feel like I need a nap. Like I was falling asleep on the couch watching wrestling about 10 minutes ago. But I just made a pot of coffee, so I'm good.
That's exactly the prep that we want. Like, you know what I mean? And to be honest, I feel like you're speaking for the whole of the country at the moment. I feel like everyone...
that's what we're all going through.
I know.
Right
I mean, listen, in these unprecedented times, like, you know what I mean?
These trying times.
I know. Oh, I love it. Fucking perfect. All right, so as tradition, I mean, I've only made one podcast, but it's a tradition because I say it is. I'm going to ask you a couple of very hard-hitting personal questions. So like I say, like, don't be worried, but I would also be a bit worried because this will be on the internet regardless of what you say.
Okay.
But again, don't worry about it. So the first question is, right, it's a would you rather. All right, so would you rather that for 1 hour of every day you become the most annoying person in the world, and it's a random hour, so it's not, you don't know when it's coming, it'll just happen randomly, or for 1 hour of every day everyone around you becomes the most like annoying people in the world? So I'm talking like if you were on like a train carriage, like, you know that there was always that one person in the train carriage that everyone's just like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. You're in a train carriage of them, or you are that person and you don't know when it's coming. So right, what are you choosing? Like,
I get so annoyed by people that aren't even slightly annoying to other people. Like if I'm on a train and like I'll just pick something to be pissed off at that someone's not even doing. I'm just like, that guy looks like he's annoying.
It makes the journey go faster. You know what I mean?
It makes it much slower in my mind. With every stop that this like person that has no connection to me doesn't get off, you're really trying to piss me off.
It's like a priest or something. It's like a nun just in there, like just reading a book quietly, and you're like, "Oh, that
thinks he's so holy."
So, are you saying that you would rather you become?
Yeah, I think I could take being the annoying person. Yeah,
I feel like, because I was thinking about it as well, and I think I'd probably choose that as well because you have a little bit more control over it.
Yeah, like you could go into the wee ScotRail loo or whatever. Although that would probably annoy someone if you're just sitting there for the entire 3-hour journey.
But I suppose it's like, also in terms of like situations, right? So like, I don't know, say like, I don't know, you're in the cinema, you know what I mean? And you're like halfway through like a 5-hour Zack Snyder like Superman Joker movie, you know what I mean? And you really want to see it.
At that point, Zack Snyder is the most annoying person.
Ooh. No, that's fair. Okay, good. You got through that one. Okay, I'm glad. And it does kind of relate to what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
But I've got one more question for you, kind of similarly related. So, would you rather only listen to like your most hated, I was going to say song, but let's say genre, your most hated like genre of music, and that's all you can listen to, or watch your most like hated movie, like you're just the movie that you're like, you know what I mean? So whenever you put headphones in, whenever the TV's on, even if that's actually not what the show is, that's what you see, and that's what you like hear. So which one do you think would be bearable?
It's like an entire genre. I'm trying to think of a genre that I really despise.
Like for me, I think that genre would be like ska.
So I was going to say ska as a joke. I do like some ska bands.
Or I'm gonna, do you know what? I'm gonna limit it to a song now because I think that's how it's gonna, like, just one song. Anytime music comes on, it's that one song. Like,
Um, but what movie would it be? Because like I feel like even if it's a terrible movie that I hate, I could at least like Stockholm syndrome myself into enjoying it. Whereas with a song, that's like some Guantanamo Bay
yeah.
torture.
Do you know what? You're right because I feel like you could more easily avoid the song than you probably could the movie because like, oh, but then I don't know because I feel like there's TVs everywhere and you're getting invited to movies all the time and like, but then would that also mean that if there's music in that movie
Yeah.
that it's only like, oh no,
Does that mean like if you're in public and there's like a radio playing, you're hearing
yeah, yeah.
Gangnam Style or whatever, or
or,
Real Big Fish
or
sell
it's
out for
like,
you?
or it's like I don't know, it's like a funeral or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, and this is a song that his family requested he plays. It's Gangnam Style, like
It's the way you want to go.
that's the way he would want to go. Yeah.
War hero.
Oh man, I could do a whole podcast on that question. Like,
Hmm.
so what one do you think? What would you go for? Do you think?
I'll say the movie. That seems a bit less torturous.
Do you think? So you would?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Well, you said it'd be harder. I think that'd be easier to avoid.
oh. See, I
And you can turn away or like close your eyes. You can't close
imagine
your
it's like
ears.
have you ever watched like Black Mirror?
A wee bit.
There's like in the very first season, there's like a kind of like futuristic utopia one, and like you're forced to watch TV and like
Yeah,
and even when you
that's
close your eyes, it like stops and you
yeah,
have to
yeah,
watch it or you don't get food or something like that. Like, I feel like all I'm doing is just like making this situation a lot worse for you, just to make it sure that you really suffer, like
yeah,
regardless of what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, I just want you to suffer. Like,
yeah. That's a common theme in our friendship.
you can take that as a soundbite. To be fair, like that's all I'm gonna put in the promo for this. Like,
Yeah,
it's like I just want you to suffer at the end of the
yeah.
day. Like, you know what I mean?
That's all you want.
Well, I think we've learned everything that we need to learn and know about you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I don't think there's anything else we need to really
Yeah,
know, to be
agreed.
honest. Um, so today, the theme that we are going to be looking at. So, for like I say, for those who have not joined us before, if you're not my mum, um, then what we do is we try to create like a definitive top 10 list for a certain topic. And this week's topic is going to be the top 10 movie cliches. So if you don't know what if you don't know what a movie cliche is, it's like things that are just incredibly annoying and lazy and stuff that just like comes up in movies and you're just like, there's absolutely no need for that, you know. And it was probably things that you maybe don't even realize are annoying until we point them out to you, and then we ruin like every movie from here on out, you know. Because a lot of this stuff, when I was doing my research on this, like, I don't know about you, but there was stuff that I was seeing and I was like, oh god, yeah, that really does annoy me. Like,
Yeah, it's the stuff that like once you like think of it, you might not realize how annoying it is, but when you realize, no, like
yes,
every single TV show I've seen, this thing happens,
yes, yeah,
and it
and
pisses you off because it's so lazy.
I know. Well, that I think that's yeah, that's and you know, and then it's obviously it's a little bit tongue in cheek, and we know that like, you know, movies are not real, but at the same time, uh, you know, it's we're the ones watching it, so do you know what I mean? I can we can say whatever we want and criticize whatever we want, really, at the end of the day, because our opinion matters and no one else's opinion matters.
Yeah,
And
man.
I just mean us. Like, I mean like no one else. Like, just us on this podcast right now. So even the people listening, it doesn't matter what you say or think. This is what you think. What you're listening
Please
to right
comment on the episode though and give some feedback.
now. So yeah, so we've went away onto our little computers and done our little bit of research, and we've came up with a few options each, and we're gonna go back and forth talking about our like kind of most hated cliches, and then by the end of the conversation, we want to have like a definitive top 10 with like a definitive number one most like annoying worst cliche in movie history. So that is what we are going to be doing today. I'm very very excited. I think it's going to be quite heated, which I like. Um, and yeah, do you know what? Why don't you kick us off, Burns? Why don't you
I
kick us off?
will. Right, so as soon as you mentioned this theme, the I instantly thought of the thing that pisses me off every time I watch, like, it happens in so many movies, like teen comedies, like family films, action movies, absolutely everything. There will be a scene, usually at the start of the movie, where the protagonist, like the teen boy or the dad, usually they come down, like they're getting ready for school or breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You have this as well, don't you? They come down, and the wife slash mother has prepared a big banquet of toasts of all kinds, uh, fruit salads, pancakes, bacon, sausage, meats, eggs done 5 ways, orange juice, a pot of coffee, and then the protagonist is like, "No, gotta go to the office." Grabs a slice of toast, takes one bite, and then leaves.
That is
Like,
like
how late did you wake up?
I know.
And how early did she
Early.
get up?
Yeah, that's exactly what I just wrote. How early did she have to get up to create this like medieval feast of like it's like she's feeding like and like you're right, she's just sitting there with like the most like or they're sitting there with the most incredible table of
Yeah,
food that you have ever seen.
a banquet.
And he comes down, he's always doing up his tie because he's
Yeah,
late.
yeah,
He's got big business to do at the business
yeah.
office where the business is happening. And he takes a little bit of toast, bites it, and like maybe even takes the toast away. And
Mhm.
then the other person's just left. Like,
Yeah.
and what do they do? Like, what happens to all that food?
Oh, it goes in the bin. She buys more for the next day. They're in massive debt. But yeah, they never seem to mind. Like when the husband or whoever leaves, there's like, oh, away to the office you go, and then they're like smiling. I bet as soon as that door's shut, there's like,
Tears. No, I I've been up since 4 a.m.
I went to the farmer's market.
Now, that is a show I would watch. Like, I don't want to follow the business person. I want to follow what's happening in
The
that scenario
aftermath,
after.
yeah.
Like, I feel like that could be, one of those like really edgy shows at the fringe,
Yeah.
like where they follow just what happens to this, and then or there's also the other moments when if they have like kids at the table as well,
Hmm.
and so dad will go around, he'll kiss, he'll give them all a kiss, eat the toast, leave, and I'm like, these kids are like they're maybe about like 3 or 4 years old, and you're like, no way are they gonna eat no way are they gonna eat
Yeah.
12 eggs.
And it's like Hulk Hogan's kids.
Eat up, kids.
In a way, I guess it is kind of the mum's fault for buying such a ridiculous amount of food. Like, you're on your way to the shop, do a simple head count.
I know.
I have
Right.
one husband, two kids.
Yeah. So I need 17 eggs, please. Like,
Which is annoying because they only sell them in like 12 packs
I
usually. So you
know.
need to buy like 24 eggs.
I know. And this is, and again, I think because I didn't put this on my list because I kind of thought that you were going to put it on,
Uh-huh.
and but I think from the last time we spoke, which was probably about half an hour before this, I've
Mhm.
probably seen it in about 10 shows. You know what I mean? Just like in
Yeah.
passing, and like it's yeah. I don't know why they do it. Like, I I mean, is it trying to like emphasize this like this is the perfect American family with this pantry full of
Well, it would be perfect if, the dad wasn't so caught up in his work.
I know what that. Listen, do you know what? Do you know what's funny? Like, I was watching a video the other day where they were talking about how every '90s movie of that kind of genre was just like dads spend too much time at the office and not enough time with their kids, and they don't know, and like their dads missed the big baseball game
Yep,
for the
every time,
second
yeah.
time, and they're like, and the dad, like, the little kid's about to go up to bat, and he's like, is daddy here? And she's like, oh, he's on his way, and then it cuts to like he's in the
Yeah,
office, and he has like
yep,
stacks of papers
yep.
around him, and he's just like writing.
He's still got that one piece of toast.
Yeah. And then something
No time for
happens.
lunch.
Like, who knows what the movie is? Like, he finds like an amulet that turns him into like a carrot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You know what I mean?
Like, I can think of that exact thing happens in Jingle All the Way,
Yes, yes.
and like I don't think they give a specific reason for why he's so busy. It's just like, oh, the big business merger's coming.
Yeah. Big
Gotta make
business.
that paper.
Big business. I mean, I think that's what happens in what's that Tim Allen Santa Claus? Is that what's called?
Yeah, Santa Claus, I think, is the same.
That's pretty
Yeah,
much the exact same. And then
yeah,
he is forced to become Santa by some demon entity. And
yeah.
then
The paranormal forces him to like pay attention to his son.
I watched a really, really good YouTube channel that did a breakdown of that called Mr. Sunday Movies, and they
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much talked about how like it was like some demon entity taking over him, and
yeah,
Tim Allen himself is just like the host.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, and because he's getting like uncontrollable weight gain, his
yeah.
hair's growing, he's forced to go and work in like the
Uh,
North Pole.
an
I mean,
insatiable hunger for like, desserts.
I know. Well, do you know what? Do you know what? In that instance, finally, that table of food. He would still only eat toast, though. That's the thing. In
Yeah,
those
that's the
movies,
thing.
even though he has like an insatiable hunger, he would
Yeah.
still. It's like this dad, and it was such a '90s like
Yeah, very 90s.
like as '90s as it comes. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but when I had breakfast when I was a young boy, it was like I don't know some cereal that's it's not
Yeah.
quite out of date, but it's not new.
Yeah, it's
It's
not stale, but it's definitely not stale.
and it's like it's not like you'd want like what was it Cookie Crisp or something, but it wouldn't be that. It would be
Yeah,
it would be like I don't know.
biscuit break.
Like and it's normally a wolf on it, but in that instance it's like I don't know a
A
duck.
guy dressed as a wolf.
They taste good. That
They're
famous.
okay.
They're okay in small doses. Listen, I think, to be honest, I think that's a perfect one to start off with. And it is mad
Yeah.
because I bet you, again, all maybe two or three people listening to this, the next thing
Mhm.
they watch will undoubtedly.
It'll be there, yeah.
And do you think it's like an American thing? Or have you seen it in like British shows?
I yeah, I feel like it is an American thing. I can't think of any British things I would have seen that in.
I think because again, as you know, I'm a very well traveled person. I'm a man of the world, they say.
So,
And when I was living in like the States and Canada and stuff, they all had like a pantry,
yeah,
and you would go in it, and I'd be like, "This is insane." They have like, it's like a whole cupboard of just food, and I
yeah,
was like, "This is how does this like happen?" Whereas at our house, it was like there was maybe like a biscuit tin
yeah.
and a cupboard where the pasta and like the tomato puree goes.
Yeah, the multiple tubes of tomato puree, because every
Yeah.
time you want to use it, you're like, oh, this is gross, I'll buy a new one. But I
Yeah.
won't throw it out.
I know. No, we'll keep it just in case. Just in
Yeah,
case we need some like tomato puree on tap. Like,
I think I have like three in my cupboard, actually.
yeah.
Like, that's the thing I've inherited from my parents, who I think got from their parents.
Yeah. Just generations of
It's just
tomato
like
puree.
an evolution thing. No one knows why we do it, but we can't stop.
Amazing. All right. Well, I think that's already going to be a big, big contender. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'd struggle to see that not being in the top 10, even if we have more than 10.
Mm.
To be fair, that is a big one. All right. So I'll go for my first one. Right. So, and this, oh god, this really pisses me off. So, I'd want you. I'll put you in the scene. All right. You imagine you're watching a movie, some sort of like Terminator movie, right? And you've got like the big bad, the big bad that can like, until they meet the person they're after, like the hero, they're just taking people out like with ease. Like I'm talking, they're like ripping their heads off. They're like shooting them without talking to them. They're just, you know what I mean? Just like, just just doing all that. And then it gets to the scene where the villain is going to meet the hero, or the hero's like in a car or something, they're driving, and then the door gets ripped off, right? And then the villain throws the hero. Doesn't break their neck, doesn't shoot them like they've done to
Yeah.
every other person that they've
Uh-huh.
dispatched that isn't important in like the movie. They grab them and they like throw them, right? Which gives the hero, even if they're not like a super powered hero, they're just like a normal person, which gives them time
Mm-hmm.
to like get up, and be like, "What the hell is that?" And like just it, see when that. I mean, again, when I know it was to kind of emphasize that, like showing you what this. Again, I kind of take Terminator as like an example. It's showing you what they're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes to the hero, they don't ever use
Yeah.
things that they can do, or they just seem to like forget that.
Yeah, but we haven't forgotten because we've just seen
Yeah,
them do
yeah.
it.
I haven't as
Yeah.
a Terminator.
This
Like,
dumb robot might have
I know,
forgotten.
because it's like I remember. I think it's Terminator 2, which is a really good movie. Like, I don't want to
Mhm.
shit on that because I think it's a really, really great movie. But like, there's a scene when I think the bad Terminator is like on the phone pretending to be the person's like
Yeah.
stepmom, and he has like used his, because he can turn to like liquid metal, like
Mhm.
solid. He's like stabbed her through the head, right? What, again, with ease, and I'm
Yeah.
like, where's that when you're chasing a child? And I know he's got
Yeah.
Arnold in front of him, but there's plenty of like I've watched
Uh-huh.
it recently, and the person I was watching with, I think, got very annoyed because I just kept on being like, just kill him. See right now, turn your hand into that like
Yeah.
massive sword and just like decapitate them, and it's done. But they don't,
Yeah.
and it really it really upsets me. Not because I want to see the children being murdered.
But because it's not logical.
Yeah, and
But this I feel like a lot of video games kind of solve that thing where like if you're playing as a super like overpowered monster, like Dead by Daylight does this where you have all these ridiculous attacks where you can like sprint forward or like do whatever, turn your hand to a chainsaw, shit like that. But it has a cooldown. So you
yes,
use it once and then like, right, gotta wait 20 seconds.
yeah, yeah.
Movies need that logic.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Like, because I genuinely do. It does take me out of like I'll remember when I'm watching anything, and if it's something where
Mhm.
it's got like a big bad in it, and I'll remember that like how were they able to do that earlier, but now they're not doing it. Like,
Yeah.
and you're right. It just, again, we're gonna be shitting on a lot of stuff here that people
Oh
are gonna
yeah.
listen to and be like, why are you getting so worked up about that?
These
But
guys don't like movies.
I know it's like
Stop watching them.
it's more. Yeah, I know. Just don't watch them. Like, but it's not even so much. I just, if I could just get an explanation, if I could just get some sort of, and I think it's
Yeah.
more, it's the throwing because, like, I saw like a YouTube compilation of when the big bad has just thrown people rather than like turning their face into like lasagna or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just seems to be a very common like, look how powerful I am. I'm throwing them. It's like that's
Yeah.
great and all, but just like, you
How
know,
how crazy is it though when a movie doesn't do that and just out of nowhere, like who you thought was the hero just gets
oh,
obliterated?
like I love it.
Yeah.
I genuinely, and again, I know why. Obviously, 9 out of 10 movies don't do that because it's.
Yeah.
But for me, when if they're thinking about me, which they always should,
Yeah. Yeah.
when that
Yours is the only opinion that matters.
exactly. Well, again, listen, you heard it here first, really. But that's what all the papers are saying. That's what they're all saying about this podcast. But like I don't know if you've watched. Again, I won't put any spoilers or anything. But like, have you watched Invincible?
Oh no, that's M Night Shyamalan, right?
No. It's like a TV series
Oh no.
on Amazon Prime. It's like a comic. It's a comic book one, but it's like ultra violent. It's got like J.K. Simmons.
Oh no. Yeah, I've heard about
You've
this.
probably seen memes and stuff of it.
Right.
That is that one is exactly like you said. It's like
Yeah.
like no one. I know it sounds like, again, it sounds like a cliche, but like no one's safe. But I
Uh-huh.
like that. That
Yeah,
makes
because it's never done.
exactly, and that for me makes it like suspenseful. And
Yeah.
that for me is like I'm watching it being like you do get a bit more of an attachment to the characters because you're like they could be going at any second, and like I like it when movies do that, and I think it's I think they do it more in TV series now.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, Game of Thrones was really refreshing for that because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at any given moment, anyone could die, and you were just constantly terrified that it was going to happen to someone you liked.
Well, like, yeah, exactly, exactly. Like they were. I mean, obviously, taking away the very last series of it, they were
Yeah,
just the masters of just not only that, but just like suspenseful. And again,
yeah,
it was so character driven that even
yeah.
in the episodes where there wasn't like all out action, you still loved it. And I
It's
suppose like Tarantino's kind of like that a bit in his movies. I mean,
mhm,
I'm kind of 50-50 on Tarantino, but like you look at some
yeah,
like I don't know, like Pulp Fiction, for example, and you're like, you know, there's again, I'm gonna
yeah.
throw it.
There's multiple times where like just out of nowhere, someone gets like blown away, and like, oh, I thought they were going to hang around.
Well, exactly, and again, that's where I think a lot of his stuff, the characters are compelling. Some of them will only be on screen for about like a minute and a half, and then
Yeah,
they'll just get like killed in probably the most like violent way possible.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Just like sledgehammer to the
yeah.
nose, like you know. Um,
It's great though because it's like because it's out of nowhere and like obviously like super violent, but also not. It's not like a spectacle. It's like, oh, that person just died.
yes.
Right, on to the next scene.
Well, it brings the realism into even if it
Yeah.
is something uh that's got like supernatural stuff in it or this
Mhm.
it again makes it. And fair enough if a movie is just completely going for ridiculousness and stuff, it's that's fair enough. But it's yeah, because I don't know if you've watched Fear Street on
Oh yeah, I just
Netflix.
watched it last week. Yeah.
I thought that was quite good for that as well. I mean, there's
Yeah.
I mean I liked it. I think I didn't love it, but I liked it, and I
Mhm.
thought that they had elements of that where like just
Yeah.
particularly I don't know if you've seen all of them,
Yeah. Yeah.
particularly in the second one,
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah. I was shocked.
I was shook.
I was sitting there watching it, and I turned to my partner and said, "I was shocked."
I was shocked. Andrew Burns, 2021, mate.
Put that on the poster.
Great. Right. Okay. So that is yes. So throwing the main character instead of killing them really annoys me. Needs to stop happening. Just kill them. Just do
Yeah.
it. Just
Just
even if the movie's only 10 minutes long, just do it.
yeah.
I'd watch it. Listen.
I watch it a couple times in that time.
Yeah, I watch it a couple of times on the train. All right. What have you got up next?
Right. Right. I'm not sure how to word this one. Right. I feel like this happens in sequels a lot, or especially sequels that happen like long after the original. So like think of like a Rambo or something.
Right.
I don't think this is actually the case, but a Rambo type movie.
Right.
Um, so your protagonist goes away, or just a character goes away. They suffer some crazy trauma, and their way of showing when they return that the character has been through some traumatic ordeal is if it's a woman, she now has short hair, and if it's a guy, he now has a big bushy beard.
Yeah.
And it's like didn't they? I think they actually did this with like Batman. Did they not? Yeah, didn't Snyder
Yes.
do that? Like,
Yeah, he had didn't he had Batfleck. He had a beard when he was going to find Aquaman.
yeah,
Um yeah. I mean he would have done it. He would have done it.
yeah, definitely. If there's like some kind of on the nose subtext, Scott Snyder's done it.
Yeah.
No, Zack Snyder. Scott Snyder is actually a good writer.
Who's that? Is that his brother? Or is that just like
And
a
he's
guy?
a Batman writer.
Oh, it's like no, just my friend. Like
Yeah.
he's a really good
Dude, it's
guy.
way
Like,
better. Let him write the movie.
Should read a screenplay, man. Actually, can I read a few pages of it right now?
That was the whole idea behind coming on this. So like I haven't seen this movie, but I think like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo or like that series, does that not happen?
I think so. I've not,
Where
I've
like
I've not seen it either, but
yeah,
I would, if I was a betting man, which I
yeah,
am, I would put money on that having happened in
yeah.
the.
I'm gonna say that happens. I can't think of specific movies, but you can just picture like something horrific happens to the woman, and then a year later or 6 months later, she now has like a really shitty like pixie cut that looks
Yeah,
like she did it herself.
yeah, you're right, and I find that again the writing that they use, particularly for like female characters in movies, whenever it's like whenever it's just lazy, like something like that is just like a lazy tool. It's like
Yeah,
just put a bit of effort in to actually, because like
yeah,
there's so many like great characters that are like like great female characters that are just like the writers have just, and I'll bet you it'll be like a room of like 10 men who are like,
yeah, yeah,
how are we gonna make her look like she's been through stuff? Let's give her a haircut. Let's
yeah.
let's
I mean,
show her.
how do you portray a difference in a character without making it appearance based?
Yeah, no, without giving
There's
her
nothing else you can do.
without giving her screen time and
Yeah,
developing her character, which we can't be bothered to do because we'd rather
yeah,
just focus on, whoever like is in this movie, Ben
yeah.
Affleck or something. I keep picking on
Give
that.
Ben Affleck a beard.
I know, give him a beard. But you're right. It's just, it's it's lazy,
Yeah,
is what it is. Like as if they've, let's say, for the beard one, as if they've not shaved. Like
yeah, right.
I think for people who've never had like a big, I had it once in Canada, like a big beard,
Uh,
and like God, they're annoying. Like
yeah,
that is effort.
uh,
Like it would actually be lazier to not have it, because when you do have it, you've got to like take care of it, or you've got, it's a hassle.
yeah. It's on you. Like,
It's on you.
that's for our when we get sponsored by beards. That's the tagline.
Yeah. Beards, they're
It's
on
on
you.
you.
It's on you. You don't even know it. Sponsored by Beards. I love that, like someone like Elon Musk or someone creepy like that just buys the like copyright to Beards, and you've got to like buy a subscription to be allowed to
Yeah,
have them. Um,
yeah. So if you don't want to buy like his new razors that he's bringing out, you have to pay a license fee to have a beard.
It's like the TV license. Just like you get stopped in the street and they're like, "Excuse me, sir, have you got a permit for that?" You just,
It's for a mate.
God, to be honest, I could get into a whole rant about Elon Musk, to be fair, but I think that's another
Yeah,
podcast, like the 10 creepiest things that Elon Musk has said or is going
yeah.
to do or has done.
The 10 creepiest men.
Mate, I don't think there's enough time in like someone's life to get through, like to even make a list, because there's just so many. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like even right now, like like
Yeah.
just if I scroll through Facebook for 5 minutes, I'll get them for you. You know what I mean?
I'll
Like
find them.
I'll find them. I'll bring them on this podcast. I'm gonna be bigger than Joe Rogan. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
It'll be like a To Catch a Predator thing. We'll get them on and be like, why are you creepy? What are you doing?
What do they think we're going to talk to them about their new book about motivation? And we're just like, it's like, why are you such a creep? Like, and oh my goodness, that would be.
I would watch that.
I would watch it. I mean, my career would be ruined, if you can call whatever this is a career. But what a way to go!
Oh, yeah.
Like just being like headhunted. I don't mean head, like being actually hunted by like rich old white men who are just angry, and you know what I mean, like releasing their hounds on me.
Yeah.
You know. God, again, this is a serious podcast for everyone.
That's
All right. Okay, so I'll go to my second one, right?
cool.
And oh, this I feel like this was actually quite a big cliche trope from like 2010 to 2020. I think they're only just starting to get away from this. And I think more so because of the emergence of like Marvel movies and DC movies, this has been like quite a big trope, a big cliche, but so we've got to like the kind of climax of a movie, right? And wherever the big bad is, they've gotten all of the fucking amulets together. They've gotten everything they need, right? And then there's a big kerfuffle, and then the heroes in the distance just see this big blue light just like shoot up into the sky, right? This blue light that it's going to do something. It's either draining energy from the earth, it's creating a portal to somewhere, like it's doing something, right?
Yeah.
And it's always blue, and it just so I literally went and had like a 20-second look to see how like of movies that have this,
Uh-huh.
right? And literally I didn't even need to finish typing and all of these came up. So you've got like Man of Steel, X-Men Apocalypse, every Fantastic Four movie,
Yeah.
Avengers, Amazing Spider-Man, Independence Day Resurgence, Suicide Squad, Transformers, For the Dark World, Men in Black 3, Justice League, Hellboy, and Hot Tub Time Machine.
Do they do that?
They
Wow.
did. They did.
I feel like they
And
get a pass because it's
yeah, they got a pass. To be fair, they get a pass. They get
like
a
the
pass.
Marvel movies weren't doing like they weren't parodying anything when they did
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, you're right. Like, and I just think about because obviously, particularly for Marvel, they've got some of like the best, especially particularly under like Kevin Feige. They've got some of the best writers. They've got some of the
Mhm.
best like people in that know these stories and know how to make movies. And they come to the last 20. It's the final act of a movie, and they're just like, God, I don't know. It's like they're obviously sitting there. They're tired. They just want to go home. Kevin Feige's like, you're not allowed to go home until you finish this. And they've been
Mhm.
there for like 7 days, and they're just like sitting there. And then on the board, someone just writes like big blue light in the sky, and then they're all like, he's just like he's fucking John. He's
It might
done
not even be that. It might just be that the guy had a blue pen and he was just falling
it.
asleep on the board.
They're like, brilliant. Give him a pay rise. Give him a whole franchise. Um, Again, I think, and to be honest, I think a lot of these things are going to relate back to what we talked, like the laziness of it, and that
Yeah,
for me, that's what it gives to me, that you couldn't think of anything other else to do in that final act than like a big beam of blue light in the sky.
yeah.
That's like a big bit of energy, and the heroes have got to go and stop before it's going to like reach its final. You know,
It's gonna do whatever the blue
yeah,
energy light
yeah,
does.
exactly, and it just I don't know, and it seems like it, and do you know I didn't mind it too much in like the first Avengers, because the first Avengers was like incredible, and I
Yeah,
think it was like that didn't bother me because obviously we've been waiting years to see an
mhm.
Avengers movie, and I was like, do you know what, fair enough, like it was fine, but then it just keeps happening, and when I'm in the movie and I'm like, oh, the fucking blue light again,
Yeah.
like
I,
like
I think that's probably one of the things that made the snap so cool
mm-hmm.
because it was so minimal. Like, there's no
Oh,
crazy like ball of light or anything. It's
it
just
was, yeah, like
nothing.
I've never walked away from a movie feeling just so like, I don't know what the word is, like melancholy and like
Yeah.
so affected by just like, because again, I love when movies take a big swing. Sometimes it's a swing and a miss, and I actually don't mind that either. Like, at least you're trying. But when they take a
Uh-huh.
big gamble, because again, that could have, that I bet there was pushback on that. I bet there was probably people
Oh
like, you
yeah.
can't, oh, you can't be doing that now. You can't be doing
Yeah.
that. Come
You
on
can't
now.
not finish a movie.
I know, and and that was, and do you know what? That kind of got me back to Marvel. I'm not gonna lie, because
Mhm.
I'd been on and off with it, like to a point. I'd missed out a few of them, and I was like, oh, I can't be bothered. And
Mhm.
then when that happened, I was like, I'm back. Like Kevin, he saw me coming from a mile away. Like,
Yeah.
he saw me coming into the store, and he was like, Yes, welcome home, son. And now I'm back in, and I've watched like all the series, and I've watched all
Yeah,
that stuff. But yeah, it just annoys me. Do something else.
yeah.
Do
It's
something else.
just change the color.
Or instead of it being a beam of light, it could be like, oh, I don't know what it could be.
See, that's the problem. No one can think.
Could it be? Uh, you're right. There isn't anything else.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I take it all back. I
Although,
take.
did Doctor Strange do that, or did they go a bit wackier and have like did it have some more?
Oh, with like Dormammu when he kind of
Yeah,
skulks in. I think it's more of like I'm trying to remember. There's like a. Oh no, that's another one. It was like a big cloud.
a big cloud.
Which is again when they did that, like to Galactus and like Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like just make him a big cloud. That's what they want to see. They don't want to see the actual like villain. Just
No, no.
big cloud.
Big cloud
So
man.
I think he was a big cloud, but I like that. I quite like Doctor Who, so it was
Yeah,
Doctor
yeah.
Strange. I don't.
All
Did
right.
Fuck Doctor Who.
There's probably a blue light there.
Mate, many. I mean, can't bloody see for all the blue lights. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's my other one,
Yeah.
and it really irks me. What have you got? What have you got up next?
Right. I'm gonna go. Um. Okay. Um. Right. Horror movie,
Right.
or maybe not necessarily a horror movie, but it's a tense scene. Like the you're at home alone, lights are out. Um. You hear the door go. Oh, was that? That was my door. I'm gonna get up and split this. You're walking through. Maybe you've got a candle for some reason. Who knows? You're like,
Even though it's
hello?
2020,
Yeah,
you got a candle.
you've got the candle app. It's far less bright than your torch on your phone. Drains the battery. Hello? Is somebody here? You go out. Oh my god, my door's open. You close the door. Phew. Sorted that. You turn round. Wait a minute. That was another noise. What was that noise?
Oh my god.
Someone's definitely in the house. You're freaking out. You turn round. Oh, it was a cat. And like half the time, I don't think these characters even own cats.
Oh my god, I am floored. By the way, fuck. I was actually really like.
You were
you,
engrossed,
you
right?
had me grasp. I was like, "What's it gonna
Yeah.
be?"
That's how you write a movie.
That's how they get you. Oh my god.
But it's always a cat.
Yes, I'd be just as horrified,
Yeah.
especially if I don't own a cat.
Oh yeah, that would be freaky. Yeah.
Like, how did a cat open my door?
Yeah.
Like demon cat, like.
Yeah, like a person can open my door. I'd rather they wouldn't. But like a cat, yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
Like, there's just someone opening your door, and you're like, "Listen, I'd really rather you don't." And they're like, "Oh, sorry, mate."
Now that I know how you feel,
I know. Sorry. Do you know what? You're right. I wouldn't like it either. I'm gonna just.
I'll try next door.
I mean, I mean, 100% agree with you, and I feel like that could have gone so many ways as well, because horror itself as a genre for again a period of time, again I'd say probably between about like 2008 2018, it was a terrible time,
Yeah.
like, and horrors did just become, I think it was that whole post paranormal activity,
Yeah, definitely.
like and it did just the laziness of like jump scares.
Yeah. It was like when people got tired of jump scares, it became the like anti jump scare
Yes, yeah,
where
yeah.
like, oh, a scare's gonna happen.
And then it
No, it didn't.
and then it's like, yeah, isn't there, I'm pretty sure there's like a technique that they've got, it's like a 2 or 3 part, like
Yeah, yeah.
I,
There's like 3 or 4 steps to it, with like different beats,
and
but
then
it's so
yeah,
formulaic.
and then you're meant to that your guard's then meant to be let down,
Like,
and
oh,
that's when they
it
turn
was
around.
just a cat,
That's when they
and
turn
they're
around.
like, no, it was a cat man.
And they,
Ah!
it's fucking clawing at you. Like, oh no, Catman, please!
And he's
What are
got
you
a beard.
what are you doing in my home?
The cat let him in.
They're working together.
They're cahoots.
We're working together. But no, you're right. Like it just became very again formulaic, very
Yeah,
like they're just what I mean I think my favorite horrors and my favorites are the ones where it's all about the like the ones that make you feel very uncomfortable.
yeah,
You know, like you go away from
tension.
them. Like Hereditary or like
Hmm.
Midsummer or something like
Yeah,
that.
I was
That's
gonna say Midsummer was like not like traditionally like scary, but I was
uncomfortable.
like sweating watching it.
Oh, same. And it's and again because obviously they're sitting there and they're like, right, this is all going to be filmed obviously in the daylight, so that already
Yeah.
is putting the restraint on the writers, and that's when I think
Mhm.
you'd imagine they come up with the best ideas when they have
Yeah.
like got that on them, and then the whole movie I just felt like I think it was when the movie finished and you realize like how like tense your shoulders are,
Yeah.
and then you lower them and you're like, oh my god. Whereas I was watching, fuck, I don't know, it was the Conjuring 7,
Yeah.
like Return of the Nun or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was watching it and I was like, this might be the biggest heap of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I actually really liked the first two Conjurings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I just watched the third one whenever that came out, like a couple months ago, and it sucked.
Yeah,
Like,
I watched the first one a while ago recently, and like a while ago recently, I just said there for
yeah.
everyone, for everyone listening. And yeah, that was scary, and I think they utilized jump scares well. They put because there isn't a jump scare for quite a long time in it. They set like the scene quite a lot,
Yeah.
and then it just goes from like 0 to like fucking 100, and like and because it's obviously based off of is it the Warrens? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, yeah, the real life like cases.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting them on the podcast next week.
Oh no.
Oh no, oh dear. Um, and I think that also added the element to it where even though they're like this is based on
Yeah,
true,
yeah.
and I mean, listen, I don't doubt that they saw stuff in people like people that maybe had you know mental health issues or they were
Mhm.
in a very bad place and it looked like they were possessed or like
Yeah.
or stuff. I don't dispute that, but for obviously what happened in The Conjuring, I don't know if
Yeah.
I fully believe that like they saw the person's chair like flip and like
Yeah.
go up but that wouldn't sell your books and get people to your
Well,
museum and stuff
that's
you know
it.
um but no, you're right, Catman.
It is always a cat. Like even like the first scary movie made a joke about that, where like she's one of the characters like trapped in the garage with Ghostface,
On
and
yeah.
like there's like a bunch of like crazy like noises happening, like bottles getting knocked over, like a fridge falling over and stuff. And it's like, oh, it was just a cat.
I think there's a
Like
movie in that, to be fair. Like, if anyone's
even
listening,
in 2001, which I think is right, they knew
yeah, they
it
knew
was like
this is
it was
done.
already cliche.
But then the problem is with these movies, like people are still seeing them and they're
Yeah,
still making. And fair, and do you know what? I am not one like whatever you like. I mean, well, within limits. Like
yeah,
whatever you like, as long as it's not problematic or like
yeah.
But like it's just not for me. And it's like I've seen this movie. When you go in
Yeah,
and you're like, I have seen this before, even
yeah,
though I've not seen this. I've seen this.
yeah.
Like
I,
that.
I've seen a horror movie before in the last 10 years. I've seen
Yeah.
them.
but no, yeah, yeah. Yes, I think I've written that in my notes just as cat scare. So
Yeah.
I hope I remember what that is. We will. We'll remember.
Well, my only note was it was just a cat.
It was just a cat. You get that put on a shirt, mate. That is.
Isn't that like a Biggie Small lyric? It was just a cat.
I do not know.
Let's say it is. Let's just say yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'll ask him when he's on the pod. When he's on the pod. All right. So my next one is again short and sweet one, and like when again probably kind of similar to like a Rambo or a John Wick or something like that. Like when they just have like unlimited bullets, and more specifically, and I saw when I was watching John Wick, which I actually quite liked. I thought it was quite
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Unlimited like pistol bullets.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and I'm quite glad to say I'm not a gun guy. I don't like
Mm.
guns; they scare me. But I'm pretty sure that like in a pistol, there isn't like, you know, I'm pretty sure I don't know how many bullets are in a pistol. What like 10, 12, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like you're maxing out at like 20.
And then when John Wick has literally bodied like about 47 people,
Yeah.
and it follows him, so and you never see him
Yep.
like reload, and
And
he's
also, he always does like the double shot.
yeah,
Like,
bang.
it's not enough to just shoot a guy in the head.
No,
He has to shoot him like in the head and
you've
then in
got.
the dick.
He shoots him. He shoots him in the part of the head where he can still feel pain in his dick, and then he shoots him in the dick. Like
The one thing he's got.
I mean, again, I feel bad shitting on that because like I actually thought that John Wick's really fun, and I actually think
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't bother me. That I think that kind of goes along with the ridiculousness, but I think that does crop up in so many movies where like
Uh-huh.
they just absolutely like let out like about 7 million bullets.
Yeah. It's especially annoying when you see it with like a revolver and you're like, right,
Yes.
that guy has like 6, maybe 8 shots at most, and he's just constantly
It's like bang, 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 bang. It's just like,
like I remember there was a great scene in The Mummy where there's a guy like he's like double tapping where he's pulling the trigger but
oh
then
yeah.
also like pulling back the hammer like,
Oh my god. By the way, great movie. I
oh
fucking
yeah,
like in the last
so good.
podcast, like I put that in my like top 10 for 90s movies because
Yeah,
I think it's so fun and I love Rick
yeah, I love that
O'Connell.
movie.
But oh my god, you're right. Yeah, that like the the revolver where they're just bang, 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 and you're like, I don't think that's how it works. But listen,
Yeah.
If anyone could do it, Rick O'Connell could do it. To be
Oh
fair, like
yeah.
you know, but like I know, and it just irks me. And then it gets to the moment where they have finally ran out of bullets. At the moment where like the story needs like
Yeah.
a beat, you know what I mean? Like
Uh
for the whole movie, never been an issue. They've never
yeah.
sat and turned around and be like, "I'm all out,
Yeah.
I'm all out, man. What are we gonna do?" And then they get to that one point where they're surrounded and like he's like, "I'm all out, man." And it's like, well, you seemed pretty like trigger happy 20 minutes ago when there
Yeah.
was only about 2 people in the room. Like you shot
You
him.
couldn't have packed like another 9 men.
Yeah, it's like maybe don't shoot people like 4 times in the knee, then the
Yeah.
head. Like you know what I mean? Like I just and it's I suppose it's just on the precipice of like annoying for me. It's almost
Yeah.
like I notice it and I find it quite funny to like think about. Or it's like, you know, when someone, I don't know if you do this, but like if someone goes underwater in a movie and you try to like see if you can hold
Oh,
your
you
breath
hold your breath, yeah.
for like as long, like it's kind of like that. Like I kind of watch it and I'm like,
Mhm.
have they reloaded? Or if there's been like if there's a cut, that's fine. But like when it just
Yeah.
follows someone and they're just, or they do the thing where it's like a plasma rifle. So who knows how that's reloaded?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who knows how many bullets they've got in
Yeah.
like, which is again, it's fine. You know,
That's fine, yeah.
which is fine by me. Okay, so yes, so that
Continue to do that,
no,
Hollywood.
I know. Yours sincerely. Send it to the offices of Kevin Feige. I mean, he'll be
To
listening.
Hollywood. It'll find its way.
You just put like It's like I'll put a first class stamp on it. I just said Hollywood, like spelt wrong. Holly Hollywood to Hollywood, please.
Hollywood.
No, that would be problematic. That I feel like
Yeah,
that would be a whole different issue.
Nicola Sturgeon reading it.
I know. It's like I know. Please keep doing what you're doing with the guns. Anyway,
Right,
what have you got next? What have you got
right.
next?
I've got one that is kind of similar to that. So you're you're a hero who's just been gunning down everyone nonstop. He's had like he's shooting guys in the head or in the chest or whatever, instant kill, they're dead. Um, he then gets shot. Like he can take some bullets, but then it's always the one
Hmm.
like from the villain that gets him. So he's just had 5 million bullets pass by him. He's fine. He's maybe even got some scrapes, but then like someone catches him like in the toe. He's like, ah,
You're right. It's like
I'm now down.
it's like the bullet's got a bit of villain spice on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like that's gonna hit him, but not lethally though. It's gonna hit
Oh
him
no, no, just enough to get a monologue.
to get him
Like
on him.
there's either that or it's like the opposite where you shoot everyone, your hero kills them all with one shot, and then he gets shot like 50 times and he's all right. He just keeps going. It's
Well,
like, no, I can make it. There's
it's
like
like
he's more whole than he is like
I
flesh at this
know, I
point.
know. It's like Daryl, you don't have a face. Like I gotta keep
I
going.
still have a heart.
I've still got family. I don't need I don't need blood when I've got family. Oh yeah, do you
Thanks,
know what?
Vin Diesel.
I know. No, I think it never gets taken into consideration, like the damage that like getting again. Speaking as someone who I've held like a water gun once, and even that made me a bit anxious. But like
Yeah.
from what I know from my own brain, like getting shot, even if you were to get like shot, if they always make it like they'll get shot in the shoulder,
Yeah, the
and
shoulder,
they'll be like,
like, yeah.
oh, that is like you're not going to be in the next 10 minutes probably able to like go and have like a full fist fight with like the Rock or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a foreign object in your body now.
Like and because that does, it's not just like a localized pain that could end up causing, again we're getting into we're getting into stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about, but like blood clots, like
Yeah,
having like a stroke, like having, you know what I mean, just like
yeah.
if you hit like an artery, even if you were to hit an artery like in your like wrist, you could end up having like uh, what do you call it, like
A bad time.
a very
Is that what you're looking for?
yeah, you got it, you got it.
Yeah.
You got what I was
Medical
looking for.
term.
But like, and it's like, and again, it goes back to that. It takes you out of like the movie when you have seen him like kill people with shots that you're like, oh, would that kill them? Oh, okay, they're instantly dead. And then he takes that
Yeah.
same shot or similar, or
Uh,
they take that similar shot, and like and then they're like, oh no, I'm gonna sit down now, but I'm okay.
yeah.
I need to pour some like vodka, straight vodka
Yeah,
over it, and
yeah.
that like sorts it out.
There's
Like,
some gunpowder in it.
I just need to put another bullet in it. What I need to do is,
Two positives make a negative.
or
That's
like he's got a bullet in the arm, so he's like, I'm gonna shoot out this way, so that the bullet just gets fired out. Like, I again, I bet there's a movie somewhere, probably like some sort of John Wayne movie,
oh
where
yeah,
he's done that. You know what I mean? He's like shot a bullet out of his own knee
yeah.
because he's just the toughest.
Like the gunpowder thing. That's definitely I've seen that a few times. Like I
Yeah.
think what did that? I think it happened in like what, like Rambo 2 or something. Like someone gets messed up. So they like, maybe it's not Rambo, but I've definitely seen this not too long ago. They like unscrew like the casing from like a bullet, pour the gunpowder like into the wound, and then like light it, and they're like, ah!
Yeah,
Well, that's the wound
when
cauterized.
cauterize the wood, and like
Yeah,
no one ever like faints when they do it.
yeah.
Like,
In
and again,
fact, it definitely happened to someone's eye.
oh my god.
I have to remember what this was in, but it has happened.
Like, you're because again, it's that thing of like they don't take consideration your when your body goes into like shock,
Hmm.
because like if you were to cauterize a wound, that pain is like
Yeah, like it's not just instantly healing it. You have now just burned like what was already a wound.
you burned like an open wound.
Yeah.
You have like and it doesn't, and I think there has been there was one movie, I can't remember what it was or who was in it or what it was even about, but one thing I do remember from it is that the person had their wound cauterized, and or something was happening to their wound and they like fainted, and
Uh-huh.
I was sitting there like, yes, that's what should be happening.
Yeah.
That's what should be happening.
Why don't
Actually,
they always faint?
I think what was it, maybe I actually think it might have been. Have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
No, I haven't actually.
I think it's in that. It's like a soldier is getting like, and it's very visceral. Like it, but
Yeah.
and I was watching it, and it makes me sound like a psychopath because I'm like, yes, that makes me happy. um, but yeah, no, it's. I don't know if you ever watch any like videos on YouTube where like a doctor will react to like. I love those.
Yeah.
I love those videos, like because they're just like, and then I sit there and feel smart because I'm like, yeah, you know,
Yeah, idiots. That's
yeah,
what would happen.
you absolutely dum dums, like.
You should have watched this video before you made
I know,
that.
I know. This video of someone critiquing your movie. You should have watched
Yeah.
that. You absolute imbeciles. But no, that is one that I think almost made my list. Almost made my
Yeah.
list. But no, definitely,
Just
definitely.
real quick, I just thought of another example of that where in a Nightwing storyline like last year, I think, or maybe a couple of years ago now, Nightwing literally got shot in the head with a sniper rifle. and that's like the last panel, and you're like, oh well, Nightwing's
Well,
dead.
that's that done.
And then like the next month, it's like, oh, good thing the bullet only went into his skull, and he's fine now. He just can't remember so good.
Good thing his titanium skull.
And like I think they even set it up like KG Beast or whoever is like, here's this 50 cal round that I'm gonna put into him, and like that would just blow his head up.
Like like those aren't those sort of guns and calibers. They're meant to like not only like absolutely obliterate whatever they're shooting, but at like a distance as well.
Yeah, like I've heard that. I don't know how true it is, but with specifically with like a 50 cal like bullet, if that passes you by like a foot at the right speed, it will like take your arm off.
Yeah. Like,
Just the force surrounding it.
well, I mean, they use those as like anti artillery kind of,
Yeah,
like, yeah, you're that.
but
You
but
just get.
Nightwing has a thick skull.
Oh, well, that. Batman
If
just.
because it happens to Batman a lot as well. He's
Oh, yeah,
always
he
getting
gets.
shot in the
Listen,
head, but
he's
he's
getting.
like, oh, his cowl's made of Kevlar. It's fine. Nightwing doesn't have anything on his head.
Night where he just has a nice head of hair, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're right, Batman gets shot in the head a lot. It happens
Yeah,
in Batman vs Superman, where someone comes up
yeah,
behind Batfleck and just like shoots him
yeah.
in the
Point
back of
blank.
the head. Which, to be honest, I actually kind of liked. I like
Yeah.
that whole scene where Batman is just like he is murdering them, even though
Oh
it's just
yeah,
like he is killing them. Like
yeah.
people are like Batman doesn't kill. He is throwing them through like the floor of like.
If he's not killing them, he's like paralyzing
Oh
them.
yeah, they're gone. Like they're
Yeah.
vegetable.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and also that's another thing. Sorry, very last on this point. Batman only has one bit of his whole body, right? That
Aim for
does.
that.
Why not shoot him in the mouth, where he has nothing? Like, and why
Well, you
doesn't he have
don't.
it covered?
you don't know that though, because like Batman has everything worked out. You
He
might
just
shoot him in
bites
the
the
mouth.
bullet.
Yeah, he has like my invisible Kevlar teeth.
He has some braces, like.
This is not relevant at all, but like I remember reading or like there was a thing where like Superman turned on Batman. He was like possessed or whatever, and he was like he had him up like face to face. Superman is going to murder Batman, and then Batman starts chewing, and he exhales, and then Superman's like, "Oh right, I'm good," and then Batman's like, "Ah, good thing I had that stick of kryptonite gum hidden in my tooth."
Again, do you know what? It's one of the things I do love about Batman is that he is just, because he obviously is just not superpowered in the slightest. He is so prepared. That's his thing. Like he
He,
just
he's the world's best Boy Scout.
exactly, and like I actually like it. I do love that about him. But like you're right, he handles kryptonite so much that like
Yeah.
surely it's like it's radioactive.
Oh yeah.
Like if
Gotta be.
if it's radioactive to Superman,
Yeah.
he's chewing it. Like it'd be like someone just giving you like a bit of gravel from Chernobyl and just being like, "Here, stick your fucking tongue on that, son."
That is what it's like to chew five gum. I still love those ads. They're so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they're so intense. It's just like a guy in like like a dome, and he's just getting like battered by like
It's like he's getting like machine gunned right to the mouth.
like like the turbine of a plane is in front of him. His skin's being like peeled off his face, and he's like, "This is what it feels like to chew five gum."
Okay, I'm not going to buy this.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah, Airways is too much for me. Just
Anyway,
get back.
anyway, I mean that's
We did well to stay on
we
topic
did,
there.
we did, yeah, we did so. All right, okay. My next one is gonna. I think you'll like this one, and
Mhm.
I'd be curious if you also had this one on your list. When a character goes to the bar, right, and just asks for like he's like, "Give me a beer."
Yeah,
Like
I hate that.
like could you as a person who enjoys a beverage, right,
Hmm.
and enjoys a pub jaunt, shall we say, right? Imagine going into a pub, any pub, going up to them, and they're like, "Oh, would you like wait after me?" And you're like, "A beer," and then turning away from them to simulate like this transaction is finished. I've told
Yeah,
you what I want. I'm now going to turn and speak to the other character while you go and get
you're
a,
gonna give me the drink that I want.
like, in air quotes, give me the beer.
Yeah. Um, like I feel like I wouldn't even mind if there was some blatant like product placement there. If it
Oh.
was like, give me a Budweiser, the king of beers, which does actually happen in Love Actually. Like,
Does it?
I think I don't know if he asks for a beer, and then the guy's like, "What beer do you want?" He's like, "Budweiser, king of beers." I don't even
Yeah.
mind that.
I don't know what annoys me more, if they did do, or when again it's like a Michael Bay production and they've just sponsored, they've like
Oh
product
yeah,
placement. It's like product placement porn, like just
yeah,
and it's like big, what you call him, big Mark Wahlberg, big Marky Mark is
like
like
Marky Mark.
cracking open a Budweiser like every
Yeah.
2 minutes, just like
Uh-huh.
dousing himself in it, and he's like, ah, now I'm ready to fight some Transformers.
Now I can drive a car that transforms into a robot. Oh, I haven't seen these movies. I assume that's
they're
what
they're
happens.
they're they're possibly the worst movies ever made. Like, and I'm not,
Yeah.
and I've sadly had to watch the ones with Mark Ruffalo. And I can't stand Michael Bay, to be fair. Like, I think he's like I'm not a fan of his movies. Like, but
Mhm.
Mark Wahlberg is like the worst. Like he's just like the worst at it. He's just plays an awful person. Like if you
Yeah.
sorry, this is gonna completely go off topic, but I need you and the listeners to know this, right? There's a scene in one of one of the Transformers movies, right? So you've got big Marky Mark, right? He's got biceps upon biceps. He's looking great, right?
Mhm.
He's in a bar with his daughter, who I think she's meant to be 17 in this movie, right? And she's with her boyfriend, who is significantly older, which is Michael Bay likes to do that in his films, right? And Marky Mark is like, so he's having an argument with this guy because he's very overprotective of his daughter naturally,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "What are you doing? This is illegal. This is this is that." And then the the guy who's like going out with his daughter is like, "Actually, it's not illegal." And he pulls out, and this I'm not making this up. He pulls out a card, right, laminated that has the law in regards to like you know like having sex with like somebody who's 16 or like 17 or whatever it is they're talking about, and it's laminated
Like he's gonna get a lot of use out of that.
like and like I remember like watching it and I was like the person I was watching it with I was like, is this real? Like am I hallucinating this? Like I've got a lot of questions in regards to it. I mean, firstly, why did he have it?
Yeah.
Secondly, whoever wrote that into the movie, like who wrote that into the movie?
Yeah.
Like why did they want to like make it, did they want people to really know what the rules are?
Yeah. Spread awareness.
Spread awareness of like how creepy a guy you can be,
Yeah.
with dating like young girls. And it it was at that
Third
point.
third question. Uh, was it his laminator or did he like take it somewhere? Did he take it to like I don't know Asda or somewhere?
Well,
Like,
I
hey,
mean,
can you put this
laminating
through the machine?
laminating's expensive. If you
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
very expensive. So you sell a lot of electricity. So is that not just the worst though?
Yeah, that
Like
sucks.
everything about it. And then Mark Wahlberg's like, oh okay. He's like, okay,
Ah, I've
you've
been
you.
foiled by the law once again.
You should go watch it. It's a great movie.
I'm not gonna.
but yeah, it's I just again it just takes me out of it, and it's just rude as well. Say please,
It's, oh, it is rude, yeah.
like
Like
just
that's the kind of guy that goes into like Costa or Starbucks and he's like, "I'll have a coffee,"
I'll have
and
a
then
cup of
sits
Joe.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, give me a cup of Joe, and then takes two sips and then throws it away.
yeah.
Like because
Don't know why I came in here. I have no time.
like I've just came from a family breakfast. All right, he's still eating some toast. I've got to go do big business.
Gets to work, pours another cup of coffee, leaves.
I'm absolutely keeling over. Just I was like this guy, this imaginary guy who's had this breakfast. I feel like
Monster.
he could have been involved in all of the stuff we talked about. Like
Yeah.
he's ever
We've got a cinematic universe here.
he's actually Catman. You know what I mean?
This is what happens when you don't eat.
When you only eat toast, you turn into Catman. Like, oh, I really hope whoever is still listening to this has listened to the earlier part of the video because it's just gonna be like, it's gonna be like, are these guys all right? Like, are they?
Well, I know when I listen to a podcast, I like to jump in halfway.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. That is skip all the start. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Sometimes I just skip to the ads.
oh, I mean, yeah. And actually, we're gonna go to an ad break. This week we're sponsored by fucking
Beards.
beer beards. What was he said? They're on you. Thank you, Elon Musk. They're on you.
So
But
dumb.
But yeah, that is like, yeah, just going up asking for, and you're saying, yeah, coffee as well. It goes for that as well. But
Yeah.
like, I'll have a coffee. Like, what do you want?
We serve 26 types of coffee.
Yeah, I know. like,
You want coffee?
even if you went to like the most like old man pub, right? They're still gonna
Uh,
have at least 3 or 4 beers.
yeah.
It's different if you're saying, I don't know, if you maybe ask for like a lager, maybe that's a bit different because you're getting a little bit more specific there.
I remember when I used to work in a pub, it was like an old man pub, and you would get asked for like lager, or like there was one time someone asked me for a beer shandy, and I was like, right, they want a shandy. So I gave him a shandy, and he was like, no, I said a beer shandy. And by that, he meant like he wanted like a best ale, which also, who is drinking
I
an
know,
ale shandy?
I know. I like. There's a lot of problematic stuff about
Yeah.
what that person said. Did you chuck them out?
Oh, obviously, yeah. Blast them.
Get out.
Don't do cocktails. Actually, I remember you. Um, we were at
oh no.
an Innocent Gun pub, and so they serve probably multiple Innocent Gun beers that they make there. And we went up to the bar, and you said, "I'll have a pint of Innocent Gun," and the guy was like, "Excuse me."
he just looks to you and he's like, "Is your friend all right? Are you his carer?" Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I took like a laminated piece of paper.
actually, I think if I give it to him, he's like, "Why are you handing this to me, sir? It's got nothing to do.
Please leave.
Please." Great, great. Well, yeah, I'm glad that I've obviously blocked that from my memory. I
Yeah.
think quite
So
rightfully.
so you did the thing you hate most.
I am. At the
You
end of
are
the day,
your
I
own
am.
worst enemy.
I. Oh, right. Okay. Moving on from the beer.
Moving on swiftly.
In fact, actually, before it's, what's your favorite beer? Have you got a favorite at the moment? Is there anything that you'd recommend
Um,
to my mum listening?
Mum. Oh, I have a terrific beer for you. Mucky's Craft Lager. That is the lager that I make for
Oh
Mucky's
yes.
Pub in Perth.
Oh, nice.
That was
Yes.
you didn't expect that plug to come in, did you? I was
you
going to
really
name
you
it like an actual beer, but I was like, oh no, I can promote this.
no do it and listen and how can people get this beer? Where do they need to
They
be?
can come through to Perth and go to Mucky's bar and live music venue.
There you go. There you go. Like there you go. And see that's how easy it is to do an ad.
That's it.
Seamless. And me
Checks
pretending
in
like
the
I
mail.
didn't know what was happening. Priceless. No, it's all good. It's all good. I need to try one of those actually. I think I was gonna get one at New Year, but then we weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah, I may have one left. I don't know.
It's like
It's being made.
it's,
We,
been, it's the company. They're working hard in the background. Like that's what.
there's so many things in motion.
All right,
Right.
what are you on the table next?
Right. I don't know if this happens anymore. It's definitely like an 80s, 90s, maybe early to mid 2000s thing. It might have died after that. Or maybe I just don't watch a bunch of like teen comedies anymore or like rom-coms. The big high school party
Oh,
where, like a Project X type thing,
yeah, yeah.
where there's 500 people who apparently all go to the same school, and they've shown up to a tiny house. They're absolutely trashing it. Someone has a keg, who they think a keg is gonna be like plenty drink for these 500 folk. Like, everyone, just have a wee drop. Just have a half pint,
Just have like a little.
a wee snifter. I think, do those parties actually happen? Other than that, like Australian dude that did that a few years ago,
Yeah, yeah,
that I feel like that was an anomaly. I
yeah.
don't think they happen in real life.
They they don't like
Nah.
they. D- I mean, you're right. Like, who's buying all the beer? Who's buying all the
Yeah.
drinks?
Are
Like,
people paying?
why haven't people complained like
Yeah.
next door to, because it's like normally in like a suburb, isn't it, like a suburban like place, so there's like
Yeah.
houses everywhere,
Quiet little neighborhood.
and they've
Picket
got like
fence.
200 people in
Yeah.
a house, and
Yeah.
they're all like there's, and there also seems to be like state of the art speakers everywhere.
Yeah. All over the house.
Like,
Yeah.
there's all over the house, and then there's like there'll be some guy on the roof that's gonna jump
Oh
into
yeah.
the pool, and they're like, "Oh, Stephen, man, he's gonna do it!" And then he jumps in and like smacks his head on the fucking pool. Like,
That was the night he got paralyzed.
yeah, I know. And it turns into like a different type of movie.
Like, I don't think those houses were even designed to withhold that
No,
kind of like weight.
they would. Yeah,
There shouldn't be that many people.
they would like collapse in on themselves
Yeah.
because of just like, and there's always these little subplots going on, obviously, and it,
Yeah.
like usually it'll be the one that the guy, the people that are going don't normally go to parties,
Yeah.
and they've
Man,
been,
how did we get an invite to
I know.
this?
Oh my god, sick, bruh. Like, and then they turn up, and the bully's there, and
Yeah.
the girl that the 90s kid likes is there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to Jessica," and then she goes over, and then Chad is like, "What are you doing, bruh? You talking to my girl?" And he's like, "No, I was just," and then he gets like,
He
and then
gets like a beer poured on him.
yeah.
And then some dude's like, "Bro, we don't have any more beer.
That was the last one.
Told you to ration it."
Scoop it up, scoop it up. And then like their parents come home early, and they're like, "Oh no, it's my dad! Everybody's
Oh
scram!"
yeah, I forgot he lives here.
I forgot he just went to Walmart for 20 minutes.
Best 20 minutes of my life.
I know. You're because when I think about, I mean, for those listening, me and Burns have known each other for a while, and we've never really, we've been to like an our day. It was like you go to someone's flat.
Yeah, and you
And,
have like a 4 pack of Strongbow.
yeah, and then you like reluctantly take yourself to like a nightclub. You know what I mean? And that, and but I don't think I've ever been to like I've not been to someone's house or like a flat that's been like bouncing with like 700 people in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I yeah I can't think of a party I've been to like where I
Like
haven't, like where there's like 100 people there that I don't know. Like,
yes,
why would you do that?
I know. Like I just I and when you have inevitably got that many people in the house is gonna get like trashed, or it's
Yeah,
gonna get like the cleanup project. And
it's gonna look like that Slipknot video.
oh yeah, yeah, where they just invited like 700 people to
Just
come,
like
and they
people
just
falling through the floor.
oh,
Oh,
R.I.P.
I
You
guess
know,
that's what happens when you
yeah,
do
no,
this.
R.I.P. Joey Jordison though. There he
Oh
is.
yeah, fuck,
There he is. He's
that just
away.
happened.
He's
Yeah,
away. Um, but no, you're right. It's and it happens so often. And yeah, how come
yeah,
there's that many people? I didn't have that
yeah,
many people in my
yeah.
school.
I
You know what I mean?
couldn't attempt to invite that many people
And I
to
wouldn't want to.
anything.
I
Oh
don't.
yeah,
I don't want to know. Do you know? The older I get, the more I realize I don't want to know that many people,
yeah,
because I want to know as little people. If I could just know, I don't know, maybe you and um
maybe.
maybe you and like the kebab shop that's around the corner from me,
Yeah,
and maybe my mum.
that's a good group. It's a solid group.
Everyone else is just acquaintance level,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and they could try and break out of it, but I don't want that to happen, you know.
The last time I had friends over, like for a night, um, a friend of like a friend phoned and they were like, "Oh, you guys like having a thing? Can we come over?" And I was like, "Nah." And like I couldn't think of an excuse, so I was just like, "Nah, I'd rather you didn't."
Hang up the phone.
And like you could hear they were confused. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was just like,
Yeah, well, it's
I,
your
I don't want a bunch of people in my house.
yeah that you don't know.
Yeah,
Like that would give me major. Even having people I do know,
yeah,
it gives me like. And then listen, I want to be getting to my bed at like 9:30. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, and you might get some people that come to your flat, like when everyone else is cleared out, and there's that one person that's like sticking around,
yeah.
and you're just like, and you keep on giving them the whole like slapping of the knees, like, well, ah, yeah, and they
There's only
just keep,
so many times you can inhale.
and then they're like looking at your movies, and they're like, oh man, have you got Saving Private Ryan? Do you want to watch this?
Do you want to watch this and then watch it with commentary?
Yeah, yeah, man. Do
Like,
you want?
yeah, I do because it's amazing, but I'll wait till you leave.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to play some Monopoly, man? Like 4 in the morning, like
I have a person in mind that has done that multiple times. I wonder if you have the same person in mind.
I think I do have the same person in
Yeah,
mind. And everyone's
multiple times. Even like my hand on the door,
yeah,
leading them
just
out.
like
I'm like,
uh,
oh, so
what, just like
anyway, what can I gravitate towards?
I know. You think
Oh, is that a doorknob? Huh.
you think you've got them out, and then you turn around and there's just like a cat, like, and you're like, oh no. Oh, and
All
then
comes full circle.
you turn back around again, and they're there, and you're like, oh, for
Yeah,
fuck's sake. Now I've got a cat and them. Right.
but a
Okay.
cat I can deal with.
I've got. All right. Let's see what else I got on my list here. Um. Okay. Right. This one. This might be a bit too pernickety because uh, it's kind of to do with choreography or chore, as I like to call it, the chore of a movie, like
Coronation Street.
fight choreography more. Um, when there's say like one or two kind of heroes, protagonists, right, and they're surrounded by 5 to 10 like henchmen, right, and what the henchmen do are these like highly trained assassins, like SAS guys, ex-military. What they do is they attack one at a time,
Yep.
and they wait, and then the guys behind them wait, and then when that
Uh-huh.
person inevitably gets their face like caved in, they
Yeah.
then jump in after them.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah, okay, this is my turn now. I'll
Yeah.
go into the fight, and
Yeah.
they never or very rarely attack like, or at the most two of them will go, but the way the choreography goes, the person has a move that can dispatch two people because one of
Yep.
them will like punch and they'll duck, and then the henchman will punch the other henchman,
Uh-huh.
and then that takes them out.
That's both of them out. It doesn't
Like,
matter
because
that one
that
guy
one
just
guy,
gave a
he
punch.
he
It's like,
falls
oh,
he falls because of like embarrassment, you know what I mean,
yeah.
and like emotion because he's hit his pal, like
I hit my brother.
no, my brother, my family, like, and one of the best cases I saw of this semi recently was, and I think I again I think there's other reasons behind this, but like it was in so the second of like the latest Star Wars trilogy,
Oh, okay.
which I actually
Oh, yeah, I
with
remember this scene. Yeah,
Ray and Kylo Ren, like,
yeah,
which, do you know what, I actually didn't mind that film as a whole. Hate the
yeah.
last one. I
I
thought that was
enjoyed it.
absolute shit. But that one, and when you notice this, I'll try not to spoil it. It's not really spoiling. The movie's like fucking 400 years old. It's fine. They're obviously back to back, and there's like 9 or 10
Yeah.
I forget what that guy's called. Emperor. He looks
Um,
like a prawn.
yeah.
Emperor prawn.
It's
Um, his goons are attack, and the way the choreography's been done, because I think they were really keen to, and fair play as well to like Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver, they wanted to do like the choreography
uh,
themselves, which is like very admirable, and I do actually quite like that. But because they're obviously not trained,
yeah,
like,
it has to be simple.
and so there's beats where like there's guys that are like falling before they're getting hit. There's guys
Yeah.
that are waiting for the other one to like do their move, and then it's very obvious that they're like, okay, this is my turn now to go in and do
Yeah.
my move. And there's ones in the background that are just like shimmying, and
Yeah,
they're just
that's
like
the best part when there's the guys in the background. They're like, I'm not involved in this, but I'm just gonna do like a spin and then like
it's like like in Tekken before they're about to fight, and
yeah, they're doing like
they're just like and like
the
there was
default stance.
I watched there's a really really good YouTube channel. I think I made you watch like tons of these videos once when you were at my flat by Corridor
The
Crew
corridor, yeah,
who look at like they look at CGI but they also get stunt people
yeah,
in
yeah.
to look, and the stunt choreographer was looking at it and he was like, because they slowed it down and he ripped it apart and he was like, listen, if it was like a smaller budget movie, he's like, I would completely
Mhm.
understand because again it costs money to get, but he was like, this is like a Disney like Star Wars film, and the choreography
Uh,
there is like he was watching it and he was going through, he was stopping it like every 2 seconds, being
mhm.
like, look what he's doing, look what's happening there, look at this, and then again, and then when I noticed it, I wouldn't say, I think that first time I watched it, I maybe didn't notice it. That I thought the
Uh,
fight was a bit slow, but I was like, okay, that's okay. And then when I went back, I was like, oh yeah, that is
yeah.
pretty.
I don't think I noticed that at the time when I watched it, but the one that I did notice, like in the cinema, was Dark Knight Rises, where it's Batman and Catwoman on a rooftop, and they're surrounded by like just generic goons, and
Yes.
it's horrendous. Like there's just people like aiming guns at the two of them, choosing not to fire, and then like nobody even like swipes at them. Like they swipe
Yeah,
at
yeah,
someone next to them, and then
and
they just fall over.
they're just like,
And
oh,
there's like people that don't even fall over; they literally just like stumble out of frame and like walk away.
that actually ties into one that I wish I'd put on this list of, because again, I went to see the new Suicide Squad last night.
How's that
Um,
out?
yeah, it was really good. I actually thought it was
Mhm.
very very good. Way better than the heap of shit they put out like a few years ago. But they are really bad in that. For um, there's ones with guns and they're not shooting until like say like Harley Quinn starts punching them, and
Yeah,
they'll be like down a corridor and there'll be 10 of them with guns and they just seem so like phased and
yeah,
stunned that like they they can't possibly pull the trigger,
yeah, yeah,
and they slow down time, and or maybe if you sped it up, it's like the guy at the back who's going to be the last one to get hit. See if he even just shot in a straight line,
yeah.
he would kill he would kill
He's
it.
hitting something.
He's hitting something
He's
like,
like,
and that,
no, I'm gonna wait until they're 2 feet in front of me before I fire
yeah.
this weapon.
And then by that point, they've like hit me with like a shovel or something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and because I genuinely, when I was watching it last night, I don't know if it's because I had this like podcast in mind as well. I watched that and I was like, that's annoying.
Mhm.
Like that is, and in that type of movie, I think they're better than that. I think they're better than, you know,
Uh,
it should be taken more in consideration.
yeah,
In
it
my,
should be happening.
I should listen. I should in this day and age, right?
In
In
these
this
trying
in
times.
these trying times, it should. But little plug. I think it was really good. It was very good,
Mhm.
very fun, very like James Gunn. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it was
Uh,
good. I think it was a good one off. Like I would watch it again, maybe in like
mhm.
5 to 6 working months. You know what I mean? But it was good. It was good. One of the better
This is the one
ones.
with John Cena, right?
He's really good in it. Like, to be fair, I normally am a bit. I'm normally a bit like 50-50 with him, but he's actually really funny
Uh,
in it. Like, again, because he doesn't take himself too seriously in it, and I
yeah,
think that's what makes him good. Like, whenever he's in Fast and Furious 18, you're just like, behave. Like, come on.
yeah.
Like,
I
just,
don't think I've actually seen him in any acting roles. His Instagram's great because
yeah.
it's he doesn't have any like captions or anything, so he just like posts like random fucking like screenshots or just memes that he like found online without any context. And it's the most bizarre shit. And every comment is like, well, John Cena got hacked. It's like, no, his entire feed
This
is
is him.
that. It's
This
just
is him.
nonsense.
I'm going to follow him, actually. Because
That's great, yeah.
yeah, I think after watching that, I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing him in more stuff.
Hmm.
Like maybe not like seeing him in like a serious like like the remake of like Kramer versus Kramer or something like that, but like, like playing both parts like simultaneously. But like if he was in like more Marvel stuff, or if it was, it's like his character was pretty cool, like,
Hmm.
but yeah, so there's a free promo for James Gunn for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Go see again, seamless.
Yeah.
Getting paid millions,
Hmm.
millions by James Gunn to promote it because he really needs it.
PayPal right now.
He needs it from me. He needs all the friends he can get. He needs all the promotion he can get. Um. All right. So yeah, that is. So yeah, we somehow went from that to that, but henchmen waiting their turn. I think I would put that if I put that in a
Yeah,
sentence.
yeah, yeah.
Just waiting their turn.
That's a good wee
A good wee
title.
caveat. All right. Have you got any other ones
Right.
down there?
Following on from, was it my last one? The high school party. I'm gonna say when, which we almost kind of touched on, when the nerdy underdog goes to the party and everyone hates him. He's a piece of shit. He sucks. He's just terrible. Um, he probably has glasses because
Yeah,
that's how you
naturally.
portray weakness.
Your eyes are weak.
Just like your character. Um, and some act of God, he ends up he ends up kissing the popular girl. Um, maybe it might be a movie where she's doing it as a bet, or it's just a feel good nerdy underdog film, which used to be all the rage.
That's a great genre. That's my favorite genre.
Oh yeah. So it's one of those cases. So for whatever reason she kisses him, and then instantly overnight he is like a hero. Like he goes from everyone hating him, like putting like plastic explosives in his locker. They go from
like,
doing that on the daily,
kidnapping his mum. Like,
like setting fire to
just,
his
just,
shoelaces,
just like high school stuff, just high school.
just jock stuff,
Just joshing.
just joshing, man. They go from treating this poor fella like dirt to overnight. Like he goes to school the next day, and he's walking through the hallway, and everyone's parting like the
Yeah,
Red
yeah,
Sea
yeah.
to let him through. They're all like, "Oh my god, did you hear?"
He's got like
They're
a
all whispering
nickname and
about him.
stuff.
Yeah, they're like, hey, it's Nerdy Philip.
Fucking nerdy Philip.
It's a terrible name.
Nerdy.
But
Hey,
now that's what they called him before, but now they'd say it with like a
hey,
positive
it's
inflection.
nerdy Philip. Yeah.
Yeah!
Woo! Yeah, bro.
Like,
And
yay! They're like, man, you kissed that girl last night. Now I'm not going to murder your family anymore. I now respect you as a human being.
you're now my equal.
Yeah. Hey, and then they're like, by the way, me and some of the guys are throwing a party tonight, even though we literally just had a party last
Yeah,
night
yeah.
on a school night.
We got hold of a keg, another keg. It's half
We
full.
found another one. We got a live one.
We caught a live one.
So yeah, that was it. Going
I
from zero to hero overnight.
I love that so much. And like I it's also then usually the added thing of the girl that he kissed, he usually then the girl kind of comes into school, sees that happening, and sees him being all like jockey and like yeah, and then or no, sorry, this is what's happened. I'm writing a movie right now. What happens is so he comes into school and the girl or the guy or like whoever was there like has been their friend for all this, who's also geeky, who also
Yeah.
didn't get invited to the party or who ignored the party, comes in, and he's all living it big, and they're like, you've changed. I liked you the way you were before.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and he has a choice to make whether he goes with his friend or he goes with the
Mhm.
jocks, and he goes with the jocks.
Yeah.
And then things go wrong, and then
Yep.
eventually, he goes back to that person, even though he's a heap of shit. And
Yep.
you
But
know,
this friend that intervenes and is like, "Man, you've changed. You're not the same person." They always have a childhood story that's like, "Don't you remember when we were kids and we used to play Connect Four and but we didn't know how to play Connect Four, so we kept losing some bullshit." And then like, "Man, I do remember. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
you're
right.
right.
I'm gonna go dump my new hot girlfriend."
Yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna stop enjoying life. I'm gonna come back and be who you want me to be, and join you in the talent show. You know.
Yeah, tell it.
And then in the end, he gets more respect by doing that.
Exactly.
And
And now
then,
everyone loves his even dorkier friend.
and then the
Like, hey,
jock,
it's Darky James.
and then and then the jock gets like paint dumped on him or something, or he gets his life
Acid.
ruined. Acid. Skin peeling off, whatever's like, well, that's what you deserve, jockey Steve.
Turns out he actually like races horses.
He's a jock, and he also rides horses because that's what the popular in thing of that year is. It's like, oh, you don't have a
Yeah,
horse, you
it's not
dork.
like a big like football team they have at the school. It's like,
It's
oh no, we
polo,
race horses. It's
polo.
a
They're all
rich school.
they wear their polo gear just around like they would when they're like riding their horses into class, like just like.
That's how the other half live.
Do you know what? Everything you were describing there, I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
like I genuinely, it is a huge cliche, but I actually love it. Like I'll watch that movie every day. I'll watch that
Oh yeah.
movie. I watch that. Oh, do you know what it also brings me into mind too? Right, I was thinking about this the other day. I watched. There's obviously a lot of like Bully Maguire memes and like like with like Spider
Oh
Man,
yeah.
which I love. Right, I think, and again, it was the Mr. Sunday Movies or something like on YouTube. They were talking about how, so obviously at the start everybody hates him. Everybody hates Peter
Mhm.
Parker, right?
Yeah, he sucks. He has glasses.
But they made the point of like, what did he do? Before, like, was it just obviously that he was a geek, or did he do something that like made everybody like? Did he do something really bad? Like to
Well,
like,
he is an orphan,
that's it.
so
That's it. He doesn't have any
yeah.
parents.
Yeah. And he likes science and shit.
Yes. But they treat him like absolute
Oh
fucking
yeah.
dog shit. And even the
Yeah.
teachers don't like him, and the bus driver doesn't like him.
Yeah, the bus driver purposely leaves him behind.
And it's like, I just wonder, something like, did he do something a couple of years ago that was really bad, or like a
Oh yeah,
rumor
we
got
need like a
spread, or like, and that's the reason that like, you know.
yeah, we need a prequel where like he committed like an atrocity at the school. Like okay, they're all deserved. Like
It's actually, to be fair, he deserved everything that he
yeah,
got.
they actually should have bullied him more.
So we are now going to move into the final part of the podcast where we have to actually whittle this list down to 10. So I've been taking notes, and I've wrote down the ones we came up with. So at the moment we have 11 options.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll read them out just for you and for my mum. So and these aren't in order, like specific order or anything. It's just
Yeah,
so first one is breakfast. That's all I wrote. Breakfast, just like there being a massive breakfast,
yeah.
and the business dad only eats a bit of toast, and it all gets wasted.
Yep.
Second is the villain, who is more than capable of like straight up murdering. The hero doesn't,
Mhm.
but just throws them. Third, we've got the to show character development, or to show they've been through trauma. They get short hair, they've got a beard. Fourth one is blue light in the sky. Five is, I've just written down, cat scare.
It was just a
It was
cat.
just a cat. Number six, unlimited bullets.
Hmm.
Um, Number seven is kind of, I think it was like gunshot damage that you were.
Yeah, like inaccurate or like unbalanced.
Yes, yes.
Uh, like
And then number eight, in quotes, I have beer. I'll have a beer.
oh yeah,
When they just go up to the bar and they're like,
beer.
I'll have a beer and don't specify. Number nine, we've got high school party. Um,
Hmm.
Unrealistic high school party with one keg and everyone seems to have a
Yep.
drink. Number 10, we've got henchmen fighting one at a time, waiting their turn. And then 11, which I think was my favorite one of the whole thing, is the nerdy underdog.
Oh yeah.
Right, so we've got we've got 11. All right.
Hmm.
So this poses the issue of one of them needs to be cut, right? Now,
Hmm.
if what do you feel? Are there any there that you think, you know, are more funny than annoying, or any that, are there any that cross your mind? No.
See, a lot of them aren't necessarily like annoying. They can be kind of fun, but I still think they're very
Yeah.
guilty.
Guilty. I'd be happy enough to like cut maybe um my bullets one or your bullets one, or maybe just merge them into, or like my one about like the unlimited bullets, or your one about
Yeah,
inaccurate, because I think they're quite
yeah, they're pretty
similar. So
similar. Yeah,
maybe we could have a business merger.
there
We
we
have a
go.
business merger.
That's what the businessman was
That's what he
trying
was
the whole
trying to
time.
do the whole time. Oh.
Thank God, I can finally eat now that it's done. Famished.
God, I'm so hungry. Please, please make me something to eat. I'm just being toast. I need some fiber.
His wife's left
All
him there.
right. Okay, so that's our 10. So what I'm going to do is, all right, I am going to go through them, and I want you to tell me if you think it's a top tier or a bottom tier cliche. And I
Okay, yeah,
think in regards to it being a top tier, would be like you could have said, like how guilty it is, maybe how much it comes up and how much it does
yeah,
kind of, you know, disrupt your enjoyment of it. So
yeah.
I'll go through them, right? And I'm putting this pressure on you so I don't have to do it because I had to do it last week and it was a lot of pressure. So you're going to do it this week. All right. So
Okay,
breakfast.
top tier. That's in every piece of media you've
Yeah,
ever
that,
seen.
that's instant top tier.
And every time it happens, I always go, "God, that food." You never like it never gets past you. You always notice it.
Oh yeah. You're right. Okay, so I'll mix it up a little bit. All right. So what about the short hair and beard coming back from like somewhere to indicate hardship?
Yeah, I think it is a bit niche. Like I could only think of a couple examples, but I know it happens more.
Hmm.
But not definitely not as prominent or even noticeable. Like I feel like that probably happens a lot of times without you like without it sticking out.
Yeah. It's
Whereas a lot of these other ones, you're like it really sticks out.
I think it's a tiny part of something else that's probably more annoying,
Yeah.
especially in regards to like female characters and the way they're written and how it's like lazy with like showing that they've had like a traumatic time rather than doing character
Hmm.
development and stuff. So would you say that's like bottom tier?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What about we'll go for like the bullets. So just general like like never having to reload, the bullets only, hitting the targets when they need to and it not killing them kind of
Mhm.
thing. What would you say is that?
See, I feel like that's like middle because
Is it?
because they both happen a lot,
Yeah, they do.
but a lot of the time you just kind of accept it.
Yeah,
It's like this is what happens in an action movie.
like it wouldn't, like it wouldn't, would it like stop you dead? Like, or something you would be noticing it the whole way through, or like,
I think that's more something I would notice and like just think about it to myself. I wouldn't feel the need to like point it out like some
like
of the
we've
other
done,
ones.
like we've done in this
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, like that.
Yeah. So, what are you thinking for that one? Again, I'm putting all the pressure on you here, and I think that's quite fun.
Um, I'm gonna say low to high.
Right.
Do with that what you will.
Okay, I'm gonna put it bottom slash top tier, and we might just have to see where the chips fall. All right. What about villains not killing the hero, but even though they're capable of it, so throwing them?
Yeah, that's annoying. That's a top tier
Okay, that's a top tier bad boy.
because that one is actually kind of annoying a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what about henchmen like waiting their turn, kind of fighting like one at a time?
Definitely top tier because that's also just bad filmmaking
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah,
you do that.
yeah.
Like that goes beyond like tropes. That's just you did a bad job of
You did a bad thing.
making this scene.
You did a bad thing. All right. So what about the like going up and just asking for a beer or a coffee?
Yeah, that really annoys me. But is it a top
I
tier?
know that's where listen, that's the controversy. This is why I'm not deciding.
Oof. I would say bottom tier for now.
Yeah, yeah. We cannot listen. This isn't set in stone. We'll see where we are.
Yeah.
We'll see where
I
we.
also think that might be a thing that annoys like me and you more than a lot of people.
Yeah, I get. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Okay. What about the big high school party with the keg and like the £1,000, the £20,000 like music set up and the pool
Yeah.
and
See, that's a fun one.
yeah,
So like if we're ranking these, are we going for like top of the list is kind of what's more annoying
yeah.
and
I
like
would
would take
say
you out of it?
yeah.
Okay, in that case I'm gonna say low for this because
It's
it is obviously like noticeable, but it's
it's
also
funny.
kind of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It's overused, but it's quite funny, especially when
Yeah.
they poke fun at it. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what about blue light, big blue beam energy light that they've got to go and sort out? See, I
Hmm.
wonder if this annoys me more than it annoys you.
You definitely noticed it more than
Yeah,
me.
you can tell from very. It's like I've got a very visceral reaction to it, and it really bothers me. But it's not really that important.
I when you said it, I was like, I couldn't actually picture it in a lot of those movies, but that just shows like I couldn't picture it happening because it's so interchangeable. um,
that's,
I would say bottom tier just because.
that's fine. No, honestly, don't worry about it. That's fine.
Yeah,
No,
no, I won't.
don't. All right, cat scare.
I love the cat
Yeah,
scare.
I love it too.
But like when I say I love it, I mean if that happens in a movie
It's a
and it's not like ironic,
yeah,
fuck your movie.
yeah.
So for that reason, top.
Top tier. All right, and
That's a
then
top tier.
and then last one we got nerdy underdog.
Um, I might say bottom tier just because it's such a classic.
Yeah,
Like
it is. It is.
it's a whole genre of movie.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I suppose you look at like a movie like Super Bad,
Yeah.
which I think when I was younger, I couldn't think of anything funnier than Super Bad. Do you know
Uh,
what I mean? Like it was like it's in
yeah,
the same
totally.
sphere of like it's like Family Guy and
Uh,
stuff, right? Okay.
also has a crazy house party scene.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Except you see them buying alcohol for it,
Yeah, actually, yeah.
and you see the ordeal behind
Getting that much
trying to buy
alcohol.
it. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so I'm gonna write these down. All right. Okay, so the way that you've done it, right? This is all your fault. Actually, no, it's fine. So you have kind of made a top five and a bottom five, right?
Okay.
Only what? So I know that the guns and bullets one was bottom slash top, but There's only one more space left in top,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's going in top.
That's fine. I can live with it.
So in that top tier, you've got breakfast, villain throwing people, not killing them, cat scare, henchmen waiting their turn, and anything to do with like the bullets or like
Yeah,
guns
yeah.
stuff like that. And then bottom tier, you've got ordering a beer, high school party, nerdy underdog, short slash hair beard transformation, character development, and blue light in the sky. Right. So
Yeah.
the last thing to do, and I think I might already know the answer, to be honest, but the last thing to do is we need to determine like the ultimate, the most annoying, like the most annoying cliche of all of
Like
these.
from that list.
Yeah, so I would be from the top tier. So you've got
Mhm.
that five there. I mean I know what I would go for personally,
Yeah.
but
It's got to be.
it's got to be business dad breakfast.
It's got to be business dad breakfast. It it's just so annoying.
It's the worst, and
It's so disrespectful.
it's and it promotes waste.
Yeah.
Um,
Misogyny.
Dad's not spending enough time with their families,
Yeah,
you know, doing business and not, doing the family business.
exactly. There's
Um,
one business that matters to me, and it's family. Sponsored by family.
sponsored by sponsored by Beards and family. They're on you. Well, I think we've I think we've came to a very lovely conclusion there, and
Yeah,
I think that you know, and again, we're just guys in the internet, but that means that our opinion's final,
yeah, yeah.
and that everything we say is matters and it's true.
Mm.
So, if anyone would like to disagree, um,
Don't.
don't, and if you do, I'll report you.
I'll report you to the internet.
I'll report you to Elon Musk or whoever runs the internet now.
Yeah, I think it's him.
I think
I
it's
think he's got it.
he's got fingers in so many pies.
Exactly.
But yes. So before we finish up, I'll just give you a chance to, if there's anything you want to plug. I know. I mean, you already have, but if you
Oh
want to
yeah,
plug it again, if there's anything that you've got coming up, the floor and microphone is yours for my I have millions of fans listening.
dang. Yeah, I already kind of did it without being asked. But yeah, I'm starting a brewery. Um, it's called Martian Girl Brewing Co.
Oh,
We are about to start production in the next like couple of weeks. So we will be making craft beer for all you craft beer wanks like myself. I don't know if that's a good way to market it.
you had everyone reeled in there, and then
I think I need to.
no, that's getting. I think that's the perfect way to keep it in. I think that's
This is why I don't do the marketing.
yeah, yeah. I know they're gonna
Um,
look. They're gonna look at this. Your business is gonna be like, who let Andrew do a bloody
I am the
the?
self-professed
Are you like
craft beer
are
wank.
you like the Heisenberg of the situation? You're like
Yeah, yeah.
right, okay.
I'm mixing the chemicals and shit.
And so, and how is it going to be? Is it going to be like, are you like giving it to bars? Is it going to be able to like purchase it like outright? Like, what's the crack with it?
Both of them. Yeah,
Nice,
so
nice.
we're gonna be selling stuff at Muckies, obviously,
Yeah.
um, and there's a couple other like local pubs and like restaurants that have expressed interest in
Ooh.
like stocking us. So we'll see how it
Listen,
goes.
once they hear this, your phone is going to be buzzing all the time. You know what I mean? This is
Hmm.
going to be it.
This is it.
But
Also, I th- I don't know when this will go up. This should be announced, I think, in the next few days. That I'm recording an album with my band now.
oh.
Um,
Well, what's the name of what's the name of the group? What's the name of the group?
the Tape Deck
There
45.
you go. Well, no, well that's exciting, and please, everyone that does listen to this and watch it, go and check out. Because I can confirm. the band's good, and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to beers. So
True.
yes, and so we've come to the end of the second podcast. Thanks for joining us here in the podcastatorium. And yes, please follow the podcast. Follow me on everything. I'm really big on TikTok. Very famous on TikTok. Everyone's talking about me. Logan
They won't
Paul.
stop.
They won't stop. I asked them to, and they won't. They keep begging me for content. This has been a great outro. All right, okay. Thank you so much, everyone, and stay tuned for another one soon. I really should have written this down.